Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi Zidni Ilma. Okay, so the question is, what is research? Research is an original contribution to knowledge. You must show two things. Number one, identification of an unanswered question, and then look for the answer. Okay, for that, a professor cannot do all these things because they have also certain duties. So you need a researcher. In my opinion, a researcher should have these properties. Okay, no social activities, nothing. Okay, now needs money. So what should I do? I have to look for the funds, write projects and so on, submit everywhere, and my situation is this. Okay, it's very, very difficult to get a successful project. Okay, we got it? Right. Now we have to start with the project, and what we notice, getting started can be the most difficult part. Going through the books, thinking, making so many ideas and so on. I have taken just few slides how we can start. So you are making telephone calls to your friends, looking at the net, just going through many, many things. So again, many, many difficulties. Okay, so you have also a teacher or a supervisor. So at the end of the day, you think the solution is with the supervisor. I should go to the supervisor and ask something. So the next slide which I am going to show, some of the people, they may disagree with me, but the students, they have agreement with me. Okay, just how to start the research and next. Okay, now how to begin, sir? Begin at the beginning and go on till you come to the end and then stop. Okay, so many difficulties. And at this moment, what will happen? Most of the students, they become very much against the supervisor because they think that the supervisor is not providing me the answer. The problem is there is no solution at this moment. It's a new problem. Okay, now let's look at the scientific method of research. So the most important thing is observation, hypothesis. Then we have to test that hypothesis, whether false or true. If it is false, then we have to go back and look at the hypothesis. Testing, if it is true, then we can make certain predictions. And if the predictions are true, then we can test the hypothesis. And again, this will of course add to the observation. Okay. Now when we are working on these things, environment is become very, very important. So don't damage this, don't add carbon dioxide to this, and so on. Again, we have to be very, very careful, and there are certain marks for our environment also. So we have to do again care. Now, we have certain tools to support the research, and here the first thing is we must have literature search. Some ideas, something we can, as I said in the beginning, starting was very difficult. Then we have to do experiments and data collection, research and analysis, publication and report, and of course that publication will again add to the literature. Okay. Now what are the sources that will add or that will facilitate the research? So a source is what you turn for the information about your topic. A source can include any one of the following: a book, a magazine, a newspaper article, a scholarly journal article, a film, television show, a radio program, a website, a personal interview. They generally fall under print sources, non-print sources, and electronic sources. Okay. Print sources can be periodical or a non-periodical. So for example, periodical, a newspaper every day. Then we can have Newsweek, a journal, Journal of Zoology. This is dedicated to Professor. Okay, a non-periodical most often refers to a book. Then we have non-print sources, a television or radio program, a film, a personal interview, a class lecture, a recording. So, an electronic source can refer to a source found on the internet, such as a personal or professional website. There are some electronic sources that originally appeared in print form. These include articles found on databases and articles in newspaper, magazines, and that published on the web and the print. And there are many books, for example, Solid State Physics by Kittel. Now you can just see on the website also. Okay, the process of writing a research paper. So as we said earlier, we should have search, organize, and then write. So for that we must have the right resources, accumulate a personal library, our references, manage and organize references, and then format bibliographies. Okay. Now remember, collect only what is needed. Don't take many books or the other information. We won't get so much time to read it. Next, the golden rule is to keep things short and simple. Don't ask many questions. The child is crying. Dog or cat? I like cats. So getting disturbed. So don't ask such a long interview that you are disturbing many bits and pieces. No. Okay, next. Then structure. There is a structure. So we have a beginning, middle, and then ending. So if a person can group his, her ideas, then she is a writer. Very simple. Okay, this is my opinion that there are 4 suggestions before writing a paper. Number 1, record in a good notebook experimental detail and data. Write every digit. Think, I must so write my notes that another person can read them. Okay, Faraday was writing many diaries. I have a book, and even at this moment his diaries are very important. So speaking makes you think out arguments. Some institutes operate a regular tea club or occasional seminar at which researchers tell colleagues about their work. Nothing clarifies ideas in one's mind so much as explaining them to other person. So discussion is very important. Okay. So writing scientific paper again, so this is the 3rd point. So take 6 sheets of paper and boldly label them. Maybe in these days people will say we will just open a page and write down. So write down just 6 pages, abstract, introduction, materials and method, result and discussion, conclusion, references, then prepare tables and figures. So half the job is done if we have all these. Okay. Now your paper, we should always be proud of your paper. So in paper we have different bits and pieces. For example, introduction. In introduction we can have hypothesis, relevant background to the problem, readings, and then we have certain materials and method, results, and results are based on the following, for example, figures, analysis, tables, statistic, text, discussion, and then references. So writing an abstract is very important, because what we are doing, we are simply introducing much of the material we read, longer reports, journal articles, abstracting journals, conference presentation, dissertation and thesis. The abstract should enable the reader to decide whether to read further or not. Is the first part to be read? Therefore, it sets a positive or negative expectation for the remainder of the work. Should create a positive expectation of the study. A well-written abstract encourages readers who decide the topic is relevant to read further. If poorly